Hi, my name is Kuchera, and I have been a member of St. Edward Parish now for 9 years. I have two children, a 2.5-year-old and one making his appearance this month, God willing. And I just wanted to talk today about an experience of living Lent unbound, from chaos to obedience. So, 5 years ago, I found myself in a place where I was about to turn 30 years old. And I was really struggling, not so much just with the number of 30, but that I had all of these dreams for my life that were unfulfilled and had not come to fruition. And for me, they were vocational. And during my 20s, I had discerned intentionally all of the vocations, really, and felt that I was inviting God into that process, that I was heeding his voice and following his direction. And he kept leading me into these vocational paths and then drawing me away from them. And I was really confused as to why I was at a point where I was turning 30 and did not have my life figured out yet. And so my friends threw me a surprise birthday party, and it was really oddly a turning point for me. I had never had a surprise party thrown for me before, and I was just overwhelmed by the village that gathered there and just how deeply loved and appreciated I felt by all of my friends and coworkers. And so it was a turning point. I approached the Lord in prayer and was just like, God, I was really dreading this year, but right now it's starting off pretty good with this party, and I just surrender to you, and I want to be open and obedient to your will for me. And so if that means figuring out how to bloom as a single person for the rest of my life, show me how to do that. If you're going to place someone in my life, help me to be open to whomever that may be. And within the next week, my now husband contacted me, and a few weeks later, we started dating, and the rest is history. And so, God's will is not so much for us a series of dreams or expectations that we create that can bind us and confine us, really, and lead us into this chaos. And the only freedom from that is to really surrender these future plans that we build for ourselves and be open and willing to obey God's will for us that can look different from anything that we could fathom. And this is really a constant process, this unbinding from chaos to obedience. It's a constant letting go of our expectations, our agendas, our dreams, and standing open before the Lord. Henry Nouwen puts it this way, that our spiritual life is this constant opening of clenched fists when we come to God in prayer. We clench very tightly in our fists these coins or these dreams or expectations that we hold so tightly because we fear that we will lose our very sense of self and who we are if we let go of them. And when we come to God in prayer, we're called to open those clenched fists, to ask the Lord to unbind us, to surrender to God in openness and obedience to his will, which again is different than anything we could map out or control or fathom. And so we allow God to unbind our hands. We obediently surrender our coins and our dreams to him, and he fills us with surprising opportunities for new life. I find this process is ongoing. I still do this. I create these expectations of what my marriage should look like, and then realize I have to just hand over those coins to God and let him fill me with something different than anything I could build or imagine, or how we parent, that I have to be open to God's will in that, which is often different than this kind of dream that I build for myself. Abraham is a great example of this. He approaches God with unbounded fists to the point of being willing to offer and sacrifice his one beloved son. And we still are living out his legacy of faith thousands of years later, that when Abraham approached God in such obedience, God really filled his hands and his hearts with just the unexpected, so many descendants that our very faith is built on today. And so let's close with prayer. Just a couple reflection questions here. What dreams have you created that you tightly cling to? What coins do you grasp that you hesitate to relinquish to God? Just approach the Lord now and open your bound fists, handing over to God those coins, standing open before Him, ready to receive the unfathomable that He alone can give. Amen.